The new RuneScape League is coming in less than 2 days, and so I wanted to make a short video explaining what the league is, why you should play it, and giving some general tips for how to have the most fun in Shattered Relics League. Firstly, what is the Shattered Relics League? Well, it's a 6-week event in old school RuneScape. You're going to log in with your regular account, and then what you're going to do is you're going to switch worlds, and there will be Shattered Relics worlds, similar to last time with Trailblazer. You switch to those worlds, and then you will start from fresh on a new account, basically. It's the same account, but it's a new character. But you're going to spawn in Catherby this time instead of Lumbridge. You won't have to complete Tutorial Island when you log in, but there will be a cutscene telling you about the league. And Catherby will also be the place where you home teleport to, and also the place where you respawn after dying. So in previous leagues, we were locked to specific regions, but this time we can go anywhere we like in the world. However, most of our skills will be locked at the beginning of the league, and so will most of the bosses. So the skills we're going to have at the beginning of the league are defense, fishing, and thieving. And then also we'll be able to unlock a combat skill of our choice between attack, strength, ranged, and magic. As we progressed in previous leagues, we unlocked relics, which gave us powerful effects in combat and also while skilling. This time the relics have been shattered into smaller fragments, hence Shattered Relics League. And these fragments are much less powerful than the relics that we had before. However, they will level up as you gain XP. And also you can swap them in and out. So here we have 7 total fragment slots. And I think we're going to start with 2 and then unlock 5 more as we complete tasks and get league points. Similar to going from Tier 1 Relic to Tier 2 Relic in Trailblazer League, I think we'll just unlock more fragment slots. So also while completing the tasks, we're not just going to be getting the league points, we're also going to be getting this Sage's Renown, some other currency. All that we know right now is that an easy task will give us 5 league points and 1 Sage's Renown. I'm pretty sure that all the points that we get are just half of what we got in previous leagues. So before we got 10 points for an easy task, now we're only getting 5. And all that we know is that we get 1 Sage's Renown for an easy task. We don't know how many we get for medium, hard, and elite, and master. So anyway, this Sage's Renown currency, it's what you use to unlock more skills, unlock bosses, and also you can use it to auto-complete quests. So here you can see the cost of all of the different skills, and right at the beginning we're going to choose between attack, strength, range, and magic, and they all cost 20. And then also in the same interface we're going to be able to unlock bosses. So that's a very brief overview of what the league is going to be like this time. I recommend that you click the link in the description and just go onto the wiki and read more about the league and the rules and stuff like that, because I didn't go over everything. I just gave you a really brief introduction. But now I'm going to give you my top 10 tips for how to get the most out of this league and how to enjoy it the most. So we're going to start off with tip number 1. It is read all of the Twisted League and Trailblazer League tasks before the league starts. And I know I'm getting this video out less than 2 days before the league, but I think this is really important because it's been confirmed that pretty much all of the Twisted League and Trailblazer League tasks are also in this league as well. Plus there's going to be other tasks for content that has been added since Trailblazer League. So just reading through them will store them in your brain, and you probably won't be able to remember them like off by heart, but just playing through the game, you'll be like, oh, that's right, you know, I've got to cut some logs into arrow shafts, and you just might never do that naturally, but because you've read that it's a task, you'll remember to do it. Okay, my second tip is to read all of the fragments and set effects. So right now they've revealed a few of the fragments, but there's going to be way more revealed, and if they do the same as they did in the last league, they will update the wiki like 1 hour before the league starts with everything, all the information about the league. So all fragments, all set effects, all tasks in this league. So if you are able to, I recommend that you read all of the fragments and the set effects when they update the wiki. But if you're working or sleeping or whatever, I recommend that you start the league by fishing, because that's one of the skills that we have unlocked at the beginning. And while fishing, just read through all of the fragments and the set effects. And then while reading through them, you can get an idea of what fragments are in the league and I think that some of them will be really cool. Like some of the ones they've revealed already are just really awesome sounding, and I just want to try them. So I think that would be a good way to give you a good idea of what you want to start doing and what you want to go for. Tip number 3 is to focus on the tasks in the league. So normally when you start a new account, you focus on quests because the quests give you a lot of XP as rewards, and also people focus on achievement diaries because you get the lamps from those, and unlocking things like the Ardoon cloak and stuff like that gives you lots of quality of life improvements. But for the leagues, I strongly recommend that you just focus on tasks. Some of those tasks will be achievement diaries and quests and stuff, but the quest XP that you get is going to be more beneficial later when you have a higher XP bonus. Really what you want is tasks. As you complete tasks, your XP multiplier will go from ×5 at the beginning. I think it will go up to ×16. I don't think that's been confirmed, but that's how it was in Trailblazer League. So what you want to do is complete tasks, as many tasks as possible, and focus on those. Don't do quests that aren't tasks and really don't progress your account. Just focus on doing the tasks. And then also with achievement diaries, I think it's going to be kind of difficult to complete these. I haven't seen anyone talking about this, but most of the achievement diaries require you to unlock several different skills. So I think you should wait on the achievement diaries until you've unlocked more skills through the Sage's Renown currency, and also wait until you get to like the ×8 or the ×12 multiplier so that you can make better use of those XP reward lamps. Tip number 4 is to not follow a step-by-step guide for day 1. Pretty much all of the league's videos that I'm seeing right now are theory crafting videos, trying to come up with like the best, most efficient day 1 strategy, like how far can you progress in the first 3 hours. And as fun as it seems to the people who are creating those lists, I think it's going to be so much more fun to just choose your own path. Look through the fragments, because right now we don't even know what fragments are in Shattered Relics. And so these people who are theory crafting, they're working with very limited information. So they know we're going to spawn in Catherby, they know we're going to start with defense thieving and fishing, and they're choosing their combat skills, and then they're looking at tasks, of course, from like Trailblazer League and trying to work out the best path to go. But I just don't think that will be the most fun for your everyday player. Like, most people are not going to be competing for top spots on the high scores. So I think for just your everyday player, people who are going to play this much more casually, I think it's much better to just not follow a guide, work out what you want to do with your account, and not follow what somebody else has decided to do before the league even begins. I think that if you try to be as efficient as possible and just play trying to maximize the amount of points you can get in the fastest time possible, I think you're going to burn out very quickly and you're not going to enjoy it as much. But of course, some people will really enjoy that, to try and maximize the points and be on top of the leaderboard. But I think for most people, it's much better to just slow down and enjoy the game mode and treat it like a marathon and not like a sprint. Tip number 5 is going to be the combat style that I'm going to choose at the beginning of the league. And just before I say which combat skill it will be, I'm going to say that I don't think it really matters which one you choose. I think there is one best option, but I don't think it matters so much, because whatever combat skill you choose, I think you're going to be wanting to unlock the other ones as well pretty quickly anyway. So with that being said, the combat skill that I'm going to choose is magic. The reason that I want to choose magic is that it's just really powerful in the early game. You can do a lot of damage with it. You can safe spot with it. So quest bosses, for example, you can safe spot a lot of those with magic and deal a lot of damage with magic spells, even just fire strike. And then also like those quests that give you a lot of attack and strength XP that people normally start out with, like Waterfall and Tree Gnome Village and Fight Arena. I don't think they are a good reason to choose attack or strength, because if you do, then how are you going to train magic? Like, you might start with attack or strength and then unlock the other one and train with those, and then you can probably complete those quests pretty easily and get a lot of XP in attack and strength, but then you're really leaving magic far behind. And I think magic is just a really important skill to have as an Iron Man, especially because you need it for utility things such as enchanting jewelry, and then also like high alching. You're going to high alch bows that you fletch. You're going to high elk probably like plate bodies that you smith, steel and mithril plate bodies and whatever. And then, of course, with Slayer, like the reason that Slayer is such a good moneymaker as an Iron Man is because you have high alchemy. So getting to level 55 magic, being able to cast high alchemy, is pretty damn important as an Iron Man. That's why I think I'm going to choose magic first. I probably won't choose range for a little while, just because range is like only useful as a safe spotting tool, and it's also useful late game for PVM. So I'll probably just unlock magic first, and then attack and strength when I want to complete those quests, which give me a lot of XP. But also I probably won't be completing those until I get to at least ×8 or ×12 XP multiplier. Tip number 6 is a very simple, short little tip, and it's just to unlock the hit points skill. I don't think I've seen anybody even mention this. I think everyone will work it out very quickly, but it's not automatically unlocked, and so just make sure that you consider the Sage's Renown. It costs 10 Sage's Renown to unlock hit points, and you don't want to be stuck at 10 hit points for a long time in the league, because soon you're going to want to do stuff where you're going to want hit points, like quests and Stronghold of Security and stuff like that. Of course, you can do it with 10 hit points, but I think just unlocking hit points early will be good, because hit points is a very slow skill to train, and you want to be getting that XP from all of the combat that you do, regardless of whichever combat style you choose at the beginning. So tip number 7 is just to spend your Sage's Renown on skills first. Really focus on unlocking as many skills as you can. Don't unlock any bosses until much later in the game, in my opinion. Maybe you want to unlock something like Barrows, which gives you access to a lot of really good armor. But aside from that, I really think you should focus on unlocking skills first, because just throughout playing on a RuneScape account, you're going to want all of your skills unlocked. By maybe week 2, if you don't have all your skills unlocked, there's going to be some things that you want to do in the late game which you can't do because you didn't unlock Herb Lore, and so you don't have strong potions, or you didn't unlock agility, so you don't have access to shortcuts to late game bosses and stuff like that. So really try and focus on spending your Sage's Renown on skills, and really refrain from wasting it on quests. Because with Runelight and the quest helper plugin, this one, you really have no excuse for auto completing quests. If it's a quest that you really need to have done and it's going to take you a very long time, like more than 3 hours or something, and it's not going to cost you very much Sage's Renown, then maybe you should consider it if you have like a lot of Sage's Renown left over. But with the quest helper plugin, there's really no quests that are very difficult to complete. And also in Shattered Relics, if you auto complete a quest, you don't get the XP reward from it. I'm not sure if you get like any item rewards. I'm pretty sure you don't. It just, if you complete it, you gain access to areas like Song of the Elves. You'll gain access to Prifddinas, for example. Okay, tip number 8 goes hand in hand with tip number 7, and it's just to not waste your Sage's Renown. Because once you have enough Sage's Renown to unlock another skill, it's going to be so tempting to just spend it so that you have another skill unlocked. But you really don't need to until you want to start earning XP in that skill. With the skills being locked, they're just locked to level 1, and it just means that you can't gain XP in those skills. But you can do things like, for example, if you're level 1 woodcutting, you can cut normal trees. You're not restricted from performing any actions in that skill. It's just that you can't gain XP in that skill. And also on that note, it's been confirmed that you can boost beyond level 1. For example, if you needed to like level 5 crafting for something, that is possible. Anyway, this tip is just to not spend your Sage's Renown as soon as you get it. Wait until you want to gain XP in that skill. So keep thieving and gaining your Sage's Renown and fishing and completing tasks and whatever. And then, like, for example, you might be sure that you want to unlock agility, but just wait until you actually start training agility before you unlock it. And that way there's basically no chance that you can screw up and waste your Sage's Renown on something that you didn't actually need yet. Tip number 9 is just to get your friends to play. I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you've almost certainly played RuneScape before, maybe as a kid, and you probably know other people who have played before as well. So if you know that they're not planning on playing the league, or they don't know about the league, just try to convince them to play. Because honestly, leagues is just such a super fun RuneScape experience, and it's so fun to discuss strategies with your friends, discuss like just which like just which combat skill you're going to unlock first has been so fun for me to discuss with my mates. And that's just like the very first step into the league. But yeah, just discussing like strategies like that, and also sharing drops that you get, because in leagues we're going to have much higher drop rates. So as you progress, it'll go to ×2 and ×3 drop rate for rare items. And so it's just a much sped up version of the game. And although it is very fun to play that alone, it's much more fun with friends. Okay, my 10th and final tip is to try out things that you've never done in old school RuneScape. Leagues is just a really wonderful opportunity to try new things, such as bosses, mini games, and difficult quests. Utilizing the relic fragments and the set effects, you'll be able to accomplish things that you've just never tried before, or never been able to accomplish before. And then once you return to the main game, those things that you were never able to accomplish before will feel so much easier. So for example, I'd never got a fire cape in old school RuneScape before. I did manage to get one in RuneScape 3 with the evolution of combat, using hotkeys to switch my prayers, but I'd never been able to complete it switching to the prayer tab and switching between mage and range on Jad. My hand was always too shaky, and I was always screwing up and clicking the wrong one or whatever, and I always died to Jad. And then in Trailblazer League a year ago, I managed to get a fire cape for the first time, and I managed to get it 16 times actually, because it's ridiculously easy in leagues. And of course that didn't feel like such a good accomplishment because I was so boosted. Like I had a relic which all the damage that I dealt restored some health and prayer, and I was attacking twice as fast as I should be. But my point is that playing leagues and experiencing those things like fighting Jad or learning a late game boss like the God Wars bosses or Cerberus or something, you get to learn the mechanics and you get much more comfortable with them. And then once you return to the main game, all those things just become so much easier because you've had so much more experience fighting those bosses and having to overcome those boss mechanics. So yeah, I just strongly recommend that you try things that you've never dared to try before, or you've never been able to complete before. Try to focus on those and use Shattered Relics League as a learning experience. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think of my tips, and then if you've got any others, general tips like these, please put them down in the comments and I would love to read them. I hope you guys have a lot of fun in Shattered Relics. I cannot wait to start on Wednesday. Unfortunately, I'm working when it starts. It's going to be like midday for me, I think, like 12:30 when it starts, so I'll be working until like 5 p.m. So probably Wednesday night I'll stay up quite late till 11 or something. And I'm going to be making a series like I did for the Trailblazer League. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this league. I think we're going to have so many options to us. Something that I really like about this design is that you can't really make any mistakes. Like in the last league, I chose Eternal Jeweler instead of Last Recall, or whatever that one was where you teleport back to where you teleported from. And although Eternal Jeweler was useful in many situations, like completing treasure trails, for example, I always regretted not taking Last Recall. And I feel like in this league, there's just not going to be any mistakes like that. It's framed proof, as they say in Jimmy's video. So yeah, I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be getting relics, relic fragments, I mean, getting ridiculous amounts of XP, progressing super fast. Yeah, I just can't wait to get started. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in Shattered Relics League.